popular demand.
Yes.
But by top brass demand.
Nuh-uh.
Dave Cameron, who runs all of the programming in this state, rang me and said, get your ass back on air and save this show from oblivion.
No, we did not.
Limo's done a bloody good job.
He has.
You've been horrific.
He has. Me?
Yes.
No, I haven't. I've been good. Now, what do we
good
got
show.
today? Run
Good-
through the
I've
show.
got a bloody good
Because
show.
you'd forget. You haven't been here for a year.
Damo's here.
Oh, Damo.
And
How's he looking?
He's looking good. He's got the crafted beard. Stubbly beard.
What about upstairs? A bit higher. How's that hair going?
Well, that's never looked great, but the beard bit's good. So we got that.
Yes.
We're going to get Rosie Walton in because something happened in the time away that I need to tell you about.
I'm good.
Looking forward to that.
Yes, please.
I love the fact that it's now Bill's 5 at 525. So your own segment's been given the arse.
It's been moved.
Moved.
Yes, Jim.
I like that. And then Guernsey,
Cash.
10 grand.
Yep. Hence the cash. Just put cash on the
10 grand.
10 grand.
We haven't
Someone.
given 10 grand away for 15 years.
I know. See, Zoe comes along. She brings out 10 grand.
Hasn't she just?
I haven't got a
Brilliant.
backyard, but she's got 10 grand. And let me tell you, someone can win it today.
Nice. I
And
love that.
I don't know if it goes again tomorrow, but
The topics Brayshaw, good. I like that. And then Big John O'Brien, Big Brown dog coming in later, and we might even get him to hang around
oh
and
yes,
see if he can tell a joke that you haven't told before.
I'll tell a joke.
Anyway, Fat,
Hello,
I'd like to say it's good to see you, but it isn't.
hello, Jimmy boy. Good to see you. No here, no see. Where have you been,
Good.
my
I've
friend?
been on holidays.
You haven't even texted.
No.
Rang.
No.
Come on.
Not doing any of
I
that.
thought we were LOLs.
No, we're not.
Well, mates or whatever it is. I thought we were, Jim, but I got nothing from you for a whole month. But it is good to see you back with your little fluff on your chin.
Oh, yeah.
Two more days, and then I've got talking footy's about to kick off Wednesday.
I thought that was only finals.
Well, no, she's now a full year.
Oh, a bit more.
Probably some.
Of course, there it is. And as usual, the great man behind the buttons, Ricky.
He runs to the right, throws to Walsh. Walsh to man, quick hands. Combo, hello. Here's Arthur's into the backfield. Comes into Walsh. Las Vegas, bright lights, big cities. Reece Walsh.
Ganane!
Dan.
You're trying to jump on a bit of Ric Flair.
Walsh Vegas. That wasn't bad. He's done well.
He's going beautifully.
He is
He's
going
a
well.
gun.
Jeez, I'm not sure how he'd go in Vegas.
Oh.
Has anyone seen him?
No, or Charlie,
Oh, no.
or Frew.
They can't be trusted.
No,
Frew.
they cannot.
Those
They
three
cannot.
are bad news.
Guess who didn't go? Dell. He wasn't allowed to go.
No, wouldn't
No,
be.
no,
No. He stays home. Oh, here he is for the first time.
Hello,
And
Damo.
neatly stubbled up
Bill
too,
and Rabsy.
purple.
Yeah, I think I'm going to roll with it this year, Jim. See how we go with it.
On screen.
I'm thinking of it, yeah. I've sought permission from higher authorities
I
and
see.
yeah,
Well, who do you have to go and see?
saw a few people at Channel 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
not at AFL House.
Dills.
No,
Stills?
no, I didn't worry about them. No, actually, I did check it out with them too. They're okay.
They like the grey?
Do you like it, Bill?
I thought it was
I
a big
expected
longing.
you to come off the long run.
No,
when
no, I
walked
like
in
it.
today.
You look neat.
It's the nicest thing you've ever said.
Up top.
It's
What about we something?
Up top's got a few problems, as you've been pointing them out on a weekly basis for
Actually,
about 25 years.
You've held on well. You have, really.
If
Ah,
Bill
great
came
to
off
see.
the long run, he wouldn't make it to the crease.
Actually,
He's got a two-stepper at him
Oh,
at
He
best.
first got into my head, even though I knew it was receding, about, when was it? About 1995, I reckon. You first got reminded me my hair was going
Kept
backwards.
rolling with it.
But it's
Now,
something.
Purple.
Yep.
Jimmy Webster, we start with.
Yeah, we need to start there. But given what's happened in this space last year in the qualifying final, we'll get to that in a moment, Jim, with Angus Brayshaw's decision. I haven't spoken to you on, obviously, air about that. But the Jimmy Webster moment from yesterday, I'm assuming everyone's listening has gotten awareness of it now. The hit on Jy Simpkin at Moorabbin yesterday, coming the way it did, off the ground, choosing
Late.
to make contact and late. There's going to be ramifications. I think by the time you guys are off air, you may have an outcome from the AFL. It will go to the tribunal. I mean, I've got an issue. I think they should be able to say it's worth this now. I think we've got an awareness and a comfortability around it now that that's what it is, given what Sam Powell-Pepper got last week. But
Well, he got 4.
he got 4. It's worse than that, I think,
It is.
in everyone's eyes. I think some of the commentary was slightly hysterical. I'm not one to shoot down the commentators. We all make statements. David King said 10. I don't see it being 10. Jordan Lewis had a massive financial sanction on top of a match sanction as well. I feel it will settle on 6, and I reckon that's probably about right. There's been reactions all day already. I was down at St Kilda today with Ross Lyon. He stopped and spoke to, I think it was Xander Maguire, actually, as part of his entry to the club today. And there's an admission that there's going to be something very heavy coming their way.
Yeah, it was opportune. Obviously, he's devastated. He's really concerned for Jy. Very remorseful, but it was like a split-second action. You know, so obviously the landscape continually evolving. It's just a very difficult situation. So really concerned for both lads, in particular Jy, because heavy physical contact. Jimmy's remorseful and just coming in now to talk about go to tribunal. Clearly there's no defence to it. And, you know, we always support the person, change the behaviour.
He's
no
big on
defence.
He's big on that, wasn't he, Ross? And he had coffee with him today at Sons of Mary in Brighton, and he felt it was important. It was in the diary, but he made sure he went and saw him today. And again, saw Jimmy,
coffee,
yeah. And I think it's okay for Ross and others at St Kilda to now move their focus to Jimmy Webster because he's got to deal with it. Yep. It is out of character. I mean, Ross said from what the Jimmy he knows, it's out of character. So I feel sorry too, but clearly you feel sorry for the person who was hit, and that being a person, as in Jy Simpkin, who had 2 concussions in the past 12 months before yesterday.
How are we heard? Is he okay today?
No, I haven't heard.
Oh, look, he's okay. Yeah. I mean, he's okay, but it doesn't make it better.
No, that's right.
And again, in the split second, I'm not trying to be defensive of Jimmy Webster, but in the split second, these things happen, and sometimes you make contact at the top of the shoulder and not their head.
Yeah,
happen.
I'm not as forgiving on that. If you choose to leave the ground in 2024, we've got enough awareness of this now. I mean, bumping full stop, I think they've got to close to eliminate. And if you then take a bump further and leave the ground and tuck up and make impact on someone's head, I'm not of the split second. Footballers are so good; they know they live their lives in a split second.
Yeah, and we rate them highly for what they do in the split second with the ball. What I'm saying though, Jim, as you know, if he had not have made contact with the head, now I know it's a mute argument because he did, but he would have got away with it, as Marlon Pickett did last year on Bailey Smith. It was just as bad, except Bailey Smith got up and didn't get hit in the head. So,
well, I think we've got to, and I know talking to Laura Kane in the off season, who, as you know, people I have huge regard for. They are very, very, very seriously trying to get rid of that action out of the game of football forever, and I think the game will be better once they have.
And the statement she made last year with the Braden Maynard hit on Angus Brayshaw, now it was ultimately unsuccessful, but she wanted the match review office to view it differently to the way it actually did initially. She sent it to the tribunal. It went through that process. She then changed the laws off-season. She's basically ripped up the former readings and outcomes on these matters, Bill, so it's a fresh start on it.
We saw it last week with Powell Pepper.
Yeah.
That was, I thought that might have been a 2 or 3, but 4 bangs straight away.
But I agree. This is a different.
Yeah, it is.
This is
worse.
Choosing to bump and then leaving the ground to do it and making contact with someone's head.
Yep.
I think you'll cop.
A quarter of a season.
6 would be a good result, I reckon.
Even more, do you reckon?
Well, if he takes, if it's 6 he gets, if I'm
take
Ross
it.
and St Kilda, I'm taking and running with that all day long.
And just as we speak, and Ross, when I spoke
and
to him,
I don't know the bloke. This is not a personal attack on him. No. It's the action we're judging.
He's conceded everything you've just said, and he's obviously expressed that to Ross. Ross admitted publicly that he had tried to contact Jy, and I believe he hadn't been able to get contact with him at that stage. And I don't take that as being something trying to mitigate the outcome. I think he's genuinely in wanting to. And he's got I mean, just one more thing on him. I mean, he's copped it himself, Jimmy, over the past 18 hours on social media with things that just don't need to be said by people. So there's enough issues going on. As we speak,
Why an AFL footballer, by the way, would be on social media, it blows my mind why they expose themselves to that.
Yeah.
I just don't understand it.
DMs.
Yeah. It's just astounding to me that they leave themselves open to the type of garbage you're talking about.
Yeah, and Ross did say that there would be a statement released, and it's been released in the past 2 minutes here. And part of the statement from the club includes this from Jimmy Webster. I deeply regret my actions in yesterday's game. I've reached out to Jy and cannot understate my remorse. My thoughts are with Jy and his family. I have a hope that he has a speedy recovery and successful recovery. I fully recognise the importance of protecting players' heads, and in this instance, I failed to meet that much-needed standard. I will present to the tribunal and understand there will be consequences for my actions. I don't think he can handle that any better than what he's just done there.
Well done.
So, yeah. And that's unfortunate. We'll see him in round 7 at best, maybe round 8 and a bit more.
So Clarko, on the back of that.
Oh, yeah. Well, Clarko had an issue with it.
So what happened? I haven't seen this.
Well, Clarko obviously took offence at his captain, his co-captain going down, knowing that he went down twice last year in his first year as coach of North Melbourne, and decided to make some comments at Jimmy Webster and others.
At a break?
At the next break. There was only about 90 seconds remaining between the incident and the quarter-time break.
Oh, righto.
And as such, he's come out there and... I mean, we know he's got form in that space, hasn't he, in the past?
11 apologies I've got here.
Bill, you're scratching the surface.
Well, Jimmy Boy or whatever, Justin.
But that's in the past 3 years.
Joey's put up this
or
point.
Justin.
Mate, Channel 9 reporter. Duck, remember he had to apologise to Duck?
He apologised to Duck over it, yeah.
Imagine that, apologise to Duck.
Well, remember when he went Matthew Lloyd after the Lloyd hit on Brad Sewell? You were covering the game, Jim.
We haven't gone back that far.
Yeah. That's 2009. That's there.
An umpire?
Yeah, junior umpire, wasn't it?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no, and also...
the AFL reporter?
Yeah, the AFL reporter. Gill, he had a clash with Gill.
Yeah.
They had a good clash.
He had a clash with a wall at the MCG as well.
That was
supporters.
That was Mel Brown that had to
apologise
to the reporter.
Well, I don't know if he ever apologised, Mel. Just called her.
There was another incident, Jim.
Another one. All right, a little break.
What else did we? I called AFL media journalist.
More with Damian Barrett next. We love having the newsbreaker extraordinaire, although these days, Purple, it's not as much of your go as it used to be.
Fine,
other people have taken it over, Jim.
You've dominated that space for pretty much 25 years.
How long?
25.
Yeah.
So therefore, you've. I'm not saying you've hung the phone up, but it's not your modus operandi as much as it used to be.
Yeah, it's just fascinating watching what's going on in that space now, Jim.
The newsroom style. So Channel 7 with my man, the Maasai warrior, Mitch Cleary, had the clear number one.
And
but
Theo,
now,
good mate of mine, Mitch.
Theo.
Theo Dropless.
Oh, the drop.
The drop.
He's going beautifully. But don't worry. Maasai's just got Tom Brown out.
Got rid of
He's
him.
in charge, so we like that. But the other mob,
Channel
are now starting to bring some cracks to the fray.
Big Tommy Morris, he's just come in a blaze of publicity, glory, and news exclusives, Jim. And it's game on.
And the Chompers has jumped on board.
Chompers is loving it. Chompers, I saw on the weekend, is part of a promo alongside Tom Morris about the news being first on Channel 9. And then some spies today tell me that there was another promo being shot for Channel 7 today about the sports news. So it's game on.
I love this.
So do I.
When it becomes personal, I love it. So the Chompers,
and they're both good guys.
The Chompers has been like a presenter. He's moved into presenter space, Chompers.
Yes.
Hasn't he?
Well.
So now he might have just got his hands
got his
dirty
eye back
again.
Like.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, it's game on. And you're about to venture back into your Channel 7 studios on Wednesday, as we are too, again, for another series of Classified.
Talking footy.
I'm sure the fights will be on again, Jim.
Well, I will see the Maasai Warrior as part of it. Mitch Cleary comes in for one of the segments, so I'm going to run it by him.
I'm pretty sure Tom will be on our show too, Jim.
Where are we at here?
I think Tom's got a big one.
Oh, by the way, Clarko, $5,000 fine for just an umpire, Justin Smith. He said he's a very good player, that number 17, the umpire's number for the Cats, wasn't he, today? $5,000 fine on the approaching umpires Scott McLaren and Ken Nichols on a flight back from Perth. Remember that?
Have a listen to this.
But he's only got through half the page.
I know. Now, Damo.
Yeah. Before we move off it, he will. I think he will. He, in my eyes, will need to be sanctioned by the AFL for what he said toward Jimmy Webster on Sunday. Yeah, I do. I mean, you can't use that word. Go and have a look online. It's on everywhere. I'm not going to say it on radio today. But make your own judgments on what you see. And I just don't. It's just not for him to be saying that
Defending
to anyone.
His player, Purple.
Defending his player's fine, Jim. Don't use the word in question. Don't use that word in question. And I'm actually pretty big on that. Don't.
Enough of that.
Don't make light of it.
Round zero.
Don't act tough when he's not here. If Clarko was here, he wouldn't be saying any of that.
I'd be looking down at him saying...
of course you would. You would not be saying a word of it.
Now, round zero. I want to ask you about this.
Yep.
Because the original plan to have round zero, Damo, you and your mob in there at the AFL...
No, nothing to do with me.
Was the AFL go to Sydney and Brisbane while the NRL are away in Vegas?
I'd heard that narrative.
Ships out of the harbour.
And Channel
well,
7
the Cats
commentators...
away, the little mice will go in there and play. And guess what?
Well,
who stuffed up the dates? Because guess what? This Thursday, Sydney take on Melbourne SCG, so they get up to Sydney because no NRL... Oh, hang on, there's a game. The Knights are taking on the Raiders at Newcastle. Friday night, Brisbane Carlton at the Gabba. Storm play in Melbourne. Yeah. And then on Saturday, Gold Coast Richmond. Oh, this will be a good game. Yeah. And there's a game, the Eels are taking on the Bulldogs in Sydney. So they're not away.
No,
they're here.
Not. I heard the Channel 7 commentators were brought back early, Jim, for this very reason.
I am back early this weekend. Exactly right. It's just another week added on purple.
They've just added 2 weeks out of nowhere to the AFL in the last 2 years.
Gather around
just
round zero.
into nowhere and
they'll stay too. There won't be any. That was just a 1 year.
Was there a
mix-up? Another one.
A mix-up of dates, was there? Or?
I think it's fair to say that they might have just got it slightly out of whack, yeah.
I think he's dropped it.
Clarence Oliver.
Just before we move off the concussion issue, Jim, you being the uncle of Angus Brayshaw and the decision, the huge decision he made 2 weeks ago to medically retire. Can I just get you to tell your
for a
listeners?
start, that decision was made for him.
Yeah,
he wasn't given any option to do anything but retire. So the medical team, and he's like all AFL players, they're very lucky to have access to the very best in the business. The neurosurgeon said there's some things we're seeing on these scans that we didn't see sort of back end of last year. So it's worsened in that time. And now that we've seen that, there is no option but for you to retire immediately. So poor bastard, I feel for him because for a start, at 28, the last thing you want to do is a whole pre-season, then not be able to play. Imagine doing that. Yeah. Like everyone hates pre-season.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got through the whole thing. But secondly, he's right.
He's in his prime.
167 games. He's in the prime of his career, and he's incredibly good at playing footy, but also incredibly important to Melbourne. That I was only having a look because I'm doing these games coming up at their kicking efficiency, which is not good. And he was by far the best field kick they had from a percentage point of view. So they're going to. I've already seen what they're doing. They're bringing Salem up, and they've got Billings now to come up a bit and try and get their ball into the hands of some people that can kick. Because without him, that exposes him a bit. But look, he'll be right. I think the family are pretty numb. You know, no one saw it coming. They knew that they had lots of scans being done and had been told that everything was good. But just in that last bit.
It surprised. Nothing surprises you anymore in footy, really, does it? Because you hear it all. That surprised me out of the blue.
Well, as Jim said, I mean, Jim knows it better than anyone, the story, but the neurological testing on the most recent part of it was different to what it had been.
Yes.
And it just meant that there was no choice, as you say, and as such, the medical reasoning behind it is it. And unfortunately, he just becomes the symbolism of where the game's at right now for the wrong reasons.
So with that discussion, Clayton Oliver probably plays in a game he wouldn't have played in otherwise.
I agree with that. We'll listen to Simon Goodwin, who today has signed off on him playing on Thursday night.
We've addressed some things. We've gone about a process to get him to this point. It's not finished, but he's healthy, he's happy, he's ready. We're united and connected as a footy team, and that's been a big part of our summer. And he's a big part of that. So he's done everything we could have asked of him as a footy club to get himself into this position, and he's right to go.
I agree with what you just said, Jim. I feel they've brought this resumption for Clayton Oliver well forward on the back of the vacancy that's been unfortunately created by Angus Brayshaw. The fact that he was taken out of the Melbourne system there for a long time in the off-season, wasn't allowed back to even train beside the group, let alone with it, until very, very late January. They had a plan to just ease him back in at some stage of the resumption of the away season, not in opening round, in the way I've always read it. So,
and a couple of first gamers coming in.
Yeah, I like the look of Caleb Windsor, by the way.
There's some big raps on him, aren't they? Fast.
Just wheels. Fast. A bit like Isaac Smith. Just get the thing and go.
They like him. It's good. Yeah, and there's a guy by the name of Blake Howes who's been there since the 2021 draft, Bill. Got injured last year and may have got a look in otherwise, but he gets a chance early on. And then the former Saint, Jack Billings, will get his chance first up as a demon in that game, which will have a lot of focus on the Brodie Grundy versus Max Gaungill. I'm fascinated by how that plays out.
Brodie at the SCG, he could have one of the great years, Brodie Grundy.
Yeah, I reckon it's a really smart pickup by the Swans.
Bloody oath there. Yeah. But all games, that's got something in it. The Brisbane Carlton game, that's going to be interesting, of course. Gold Coast Richmond, Dimmer, Damien Hardwick, and then Giants and Collingwood. Well, the Giants coming out and saying, we hate Collingwood.
Well, Bill, you'd hope the games would be interesting. That's why we have the comp.
But that's why they were going to be round zero with no NRL, Jim. There's going to be no NRL. All of a sudden, I've never seen so many NRL games up against them.
Purple, great to see you. We look forward to doing this every week of the season.
Jono Brown.
Oh, in he comes, the big brown dog.
Big brown dog. Bulldogs in the house.
Always good to see you.
It's good to be here, boys. How are you, Rabs? How's things, mate?
Forgotten how it all works.
You've turned up the right joint because we're into Magic Millions.
Yes.
And you were on the guest list of two bookies marquees.
Yeah.
And rival competing bookie
I went
marquees.
to the right one, PointsBet, let me tell you.
And one of the girls in the other one said, tell Bill, because your brother Anton was in there, tell Bill that if he's not here by midday, he'll be banned and refused entry.
Good.
And was banned.
Won't be the first time he's been banned.
We had a good day at the Magic Millions. Good up there, because you live up there now.
Yes, absolutely. It's been good.
The golf club know that?
No, they don't. Hopefully we're not broadcasting. It cost me It's just cost me $5 grand with that comment.
Still based out of Karoi.
Yeah, with the old man, just out near the milk factory there, but all going well.
I
Good
was
to
just
see
down
JB's decided to turn up to work.
It is good to see JB. I haven't seen him all year either.
Just down in God's country. I didn't run into Brian. Every now and then he pops into the Port Fairy golf course.
He loves the Port Fairy golf course. Would that be the best off-Broadway golf course in Australia?
I think it's ranked 43rd or something in Australia. Troy been running a 3-man crew, the ground staff, and it is superb.
Doesn't he love just pulling up the buggy for a bit of a chat?
And you can't shake him.
Can't shake him.
Groundsman, Bill, you're trying to play a round of golf, and 10 minutes later he's still driving along next to you, and he's bloody...
Like your mate from Adelaide. It gets a bit windy and all that down there.
Yes.
That's what they tell me, but I don't
And
know
you
if
can't
Troy
get
can
on.
do
When the
anything about that.
Brayshaws are all in town, you can't get on over Christmas time.
Including Lisa Brayshaw.
Yeah,
she doesn't mind
Goes
it.
all right.
Bloody she does. He's still boxing? The old boy's still
he loves it.
hitting
He
the
loves
pads?
the boxing, so he gets stuck in there now. And apple hasn't fallen far from the tree. My young Jack, he's boxing amongst crabbing, fishing, angling, shooting. I don't know, whatever. He's belting his sisters up. And yesterday, surfing. Isn't it amazing, kids, how they just got no comprehension of celebrity, unless you're a Taylor Swift fan, which I did go to.
We'll get to that.
Mick Fanning just lives down the road, so the kids are out surfing, just 4 or 5 of the kids out there, and then Mick just strolls on with his longboard yesterday. Has a bit of a surfing amongst the kids, and I said to young Jay, you realise that was Mick Fanning? He goes, yeah. He pushed me on the wave. Mate, I said, you realise he's one of the greatest of all time?
Ever.
It's just Mick to him.
Well, that's that part of the world. We went and surfed with Ockie years ago.
Yeah.
Same thing, Brownie.
Yeah.
He's everywhere he went, from 90-year-olds to 5-year-olds. Ock.
They love it.
Yeah,
'cause
mate, there you go.
They don't get driven mad, do they? They run
they
the says
don't.
g'day and move on.
Just cruise along. Yeah, one of the greatest of all time, and owns his own brewery too.
I know he does.
He's done it right
yes,
there,
he's
Bolter
done.
Brewery.
He sold it, didn't he? Or-
We sold it into CB.
I know.
It's part of our stable. Bill.
Part of the Carlton
While we're
Draft.
talking CUB, the draft.
Yeah. Oh,
Now,
Beautiful.
there's a
Nice
couple of
segue.
names we can slide in already.
This is for the Carlton Draft.
Yes.
It's been very successful, this, where players go out to the country and play.
The third edition of the Carlton Draft. So
Who's in?
this year, 2 big names off the ranks. So, I think we're going to have 5 or 6 this year, but the first 2 gives me great pleasure to announce.
Hello. I get a drum roll.
We got a drum roll or something for... Here we go, wait.
Not the raining, but the one before that raining.
How much radio have you done? Shut up, Nick. Let all it out.
Whoa. 3-time premiership captain Trent Cotchin.
Hey!
Well done. Oh, crikey.
We don't have to do the drum roll again for
No,
the next one.
no.
And the bloke that you love, nearest and dearest to your heart, Billy
Yes.
Boy,
Premiership player.
adopted son, Norm Smith medalist, Isaac Smith.
Hey!
He's actually won 4 premierships.
Yeah.
Good name
3
there.
with Hawthorn, 1 with Geelong. He could still play, Isaac Smith.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the key is too, not just to get the old has-beens out there, because last year we rolled out Nathan Buckley.
Yeah, how long that last?
Well, 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
So I went to Bucks. I took a bus trip there of punters who were reasonably
It's a
well
Gippsland.
behaved on the way down there, not on the way home. We got a couple of warnings from the bus driver on the way home.
Poor old bus driver.
This bloke went absolutely berserk. Anyway, I got there in the warm-up, and Bucks come up and I said, how you feeling? He goes, mate, I've torn my groin. This is in the warm-up.
In the warm-up.
And then 8 minutes into the first quarter, he tore his hamstring, but he tore his tendon.
Oh.
So it was a serious thing. So we don't want to roll out old has-beens. That's why Billy hasn't got a call.
Fair
We've
enough
got
too.
recently retired boys that can actually have an impact on their club when they go out in the regions.
Jeez, those two will.
Very good. No, it's been good. That well done, Carlton Draft, of course.
Yeah.
Hey, now.
Well, last year, Bernie Vince kicked 8.
He did.
We
So he
still
was
hear
on
about
fire.
it.
He loves talking about that.
And so does Daisy. He played well in one.
Daisy played well. Corn was terrible last year. He only got 6 disposals. But I tell you what, did he get some feedback from across the field?
He would have too. Now, a little break.
Yes.
Yeah, because we need to get to the bottom of what he's what do they call him? A Swifty.
A Swifty.
Brownie the Swifty. So a couple of weeks ago, I flew to Cairns with my wife to catch up with some friends up there. We arrive in the airport at Cairns, and the bloke we're just waiting for some luggage, and the bloke gives me from behind the jump for Qantas, says, Virgin, I think he was. Well, he said, "Where are you from?" I said, "We've just flown up from Melbourne." He said, "Timing's good. Get away from all those Swifties."
Cheap
And I
flights.
said, "Mate, I did not realise how big she was.
No,
and those
huge.
concerts were ridiculous. And
96,000.
You've taken your daughter along.
I did, yeah. I got about 3 days out. A mate said I've got a couple of tickets for you. So, but you're right about the plane tickets.
Oh, how
like the
good.
amount it cost me to fly down economy. Man, I could have chartered my own
Economy.
private jet.
Why didn't you?
Jeez, that was tough. Not used to turning right when I walk on the plane.
What about Lego's big head in economy? If he sits
Well, what
in
about
front
if
of
you're
you.
sitting behind him at the concert?
Yeah, at the concert.
You can't see Tay-Tay.
Mason Cox was
Yes,
there, and no one could see past him. But what about your Lego
It was
head?
unbelievable. Like,
No, you loved it.
It was good fun. I got into it. So I had all those friendship bracelets,
Yes,
you know,
well
I had
done.
the T-shirt, I had the face paint on. So I had a crack at learning all 43 songs, Billy.
Good.
10 words I nailed, I reckon. And that was
sung
shake it
along.
off 3 times.
it
That adds up to about 9, and there was one other. But, mate, it was so much fun. We jumped in there and I slipped in a couple of, I thought I better have a couple of frosts while there.
Good boy.
What were the bar lines
Melbourne
like?
or Sydney? Where?
This at the MCG,
right.
the
So
mighty
90 odd
MCG.
thousand.
96 for 4 nights.
96.
And she didn't stop for 3.5 hours.
3,500. Yeah, 3.5 hours. A couple of costume changes. Should have had sore feet walking up and down that. It's about 100 metres long, that stage. And then it was fun just as the night went on. And this young fella he's probably 21 years old, probably on apprentice wages, he said to me, "Hey, big fella, would you like a can?" I go, "Yeah, I'll have a couple of Carlton Drafts, mate." So he's probably gone downstairs. Would have cost him half a week's worth of wages to buy me 2 cans.
Well,
And then I'm ripping into those couple, and I thought, geez, I better repay the favour. Getting late in the night, so I said, "Mate, you want a couple of cans? I'll go get us a shower." Yeah. So I go to the bar. The bar's shut.
Well,
Mate, he was as flat as a pancake.
Stevie J took his daughter up in Sydney with Sal,
Yeah.
and she took her daughter. So Steve-O thought I'd go to the bar. He went missing for an hour.
No.
I think he was at the bar just drinking.
Well, it's
Anyway,
long enough
he
to
was-
have a couple, but yeah, it's gone crazy, hasn't
Oh,
it? Were
mate,
you a
she's
Swiftie fan before?
No, mate,
I knew one song, that Romeo and Juliet one from years ago. It's
Love
the only-
Story.
Love
With you.
Story. It's
Love Story.
only one of her songs I'd ever heard.
Shake it up.
Hey, you'd be excited by the Lions.
Absolutely. I think they're the most, across the board, the most talented team in it. Now, that's all things being equal. The predictions would be easy if they gave you the list of who gets injured during the year, wouldn't it, JB? But at the as it currently stands, when they get Duday in from Adelaide, who's coming off an ACL, and Will Ashcroft, who did his knee late in the year, they're both going to play early in the season. All you can ask for a team that's played in the grand final and just beaten, but obviously one of the great grand finals of the time, all you can ask is for them to improve on their list, and they've done that. So fingers crossed they can go deep again, but geez, the comp's even, isn't it?
It is.
It's fantastic. I'm excited.
Well, even round 0 is unbelievable. Like, in the Gold Coast, so Brisbane should win that one over Carlton. They've got a couple of injuries.
Yeah.
think.
I'll tell you what, all the Carlton uffies have come out to request tickets. I normally don't get ticket requests for the Gabba, but been absolutely inundated. So 35,000 up there. It's going to be huge Friday night.
And they're not pulling it down anymore for the Olympics.
Well, no, the reason they had to pull the whole thing down
Is
was
why?
because they can't fit the running track in there for the Olympics. That's why they couldn't, because everyone was asking, why wouldn't they just
What,
build
the 100 metres?
Build it stand by stand. Well, it's more than 100 metres. You got to go.
Oh,
you gotta
400
run
around.
We're at the 800
Seriously. What the hell's wrong with him?
Isn't it 400 metres around?
Of
I
course
know,
it is.
but they can't fit the track as it currently stands, so they've got to rip it all down and make the ground actually bigger. That's why they had to pull the stands. Anyway, it's cost too much.
So what are they going to do now? Where are they having the Olympics? If
they talk about having at Suncorp, the opening closing ceremony. That's a rectangle, though, Bill. So we're going to struggle to fit the track in there.
And then I saw some bloke's got a golf course he's going to take over and just lob it there in Brisbane.
Do it there. They've got the old QE2 where the Broncos used to play. They've got where the Gold Coast Suns played, so the Commonwealth Games there. But so anyway, it's there's a bit going on up there, Billy Boy.
Well, I reckon I wasn't aware of that, by the way. I have been off Broadway. I'm not aware of that.
No, they pulled the
Brownie,
pin.
I like the fact, if that's happening, that it is, because the Lions have finally got real momentum in that city. And if they had to go and play in some Poxville $8,000 thing, that wouldn't have
that's
worked.
what the club was worried about. 4 years. It would have completely lost momentum. So
I say finally, it was obviously you were flying in your time, but they've now got sold-out stadiums, big membership, big fan base.
Yep.
The home games are when you go to a home game now at the Gabba, they are rocking and rolling, aren't they?
And all the records still stand, don't they? All the records still stand.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's why he wanted to keep on about it. He didn't veer us off topic, did he? Come on, what year was it?
Oh, I don't know what year. I can't remember. But 11 goals.
Round 4, 1992.
Thank you, Rad. What about the Gold Coast Suns? Going to be interesting with Dimmer there. We're liking. Have you been down to have a look at the Suns?
Been down to have a look at Dimmer and tell you what, he's right. Hey? He's right in the coalface.
Is
there.
he?
Yeah, he's coaching. He's not just. Yeah, you go down and see the odd training session now, and they just, you would describe JB, the helicopter coaching. He was far from helicopter coaching. He was right down there amongst it. So I think he seemed to be reinvigorated. They've got a truckload of talent.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's going to come this year. I'd be, they might be able to sneak into the 8. I'd have them outside the 8, but it's more for the future, the setting up of the future. This is the Lee Matthews going to the Brisbane Lions in the late 90s. The big-time premiership coach with a big reputation, solidifying that group, unifying that group, and then encouraging the talent to re-sign and stay there. And obviously now they've got the homegrown talent coming through as well, which bodes well for the future.
That was good. Ben
King's a star. Lakosha's a star.
Well, he signed on.
Meller's in there. Anderson. Anderson could be the best player in the competition within 2 or 3 years. He's an absolute jet. So they've got a lot of talent there. The AFL is huge on the Gold Coast now. My daughter does AFL as a subject. Yep. She goes to the school where as a subject. She goes to school where three kids were drafted in the first round last year, the 3 boys. So it shows how much investment the AFL's put in there, but it's just got to translate now, JB, to the senior team.
No, I agree.
Having some
I'm with you. I'm bullish on where they're headed.
Why didn't we have that at school? AFL.
Imagine
that.
Well,
you did. That's all you did. That's why it took you 18 years to bloody graduate.
Chemistry,
you
physics.
did not do physics.
I did.
That is a lie.
Mass A, Mass B.
Blow the alarm or
religion.
Whatever it is.
Religion.
All right,
wow.
I'll tell you what we're doing.
What?
Brownie doesn't know about this.
What's he know
He's
about?
coming in to talk about the Carlton Draft and all the rest of it. Now, we've finished all of that, but he's sticking around as audience for your joke.
Oh, good.
You got anything?
Really? I'm here for the joke.
Don't go anywhere.
You've been all right this year.
Oh, thank you.
Your form's been all right.
Thank you, Jonathan.
That is coming up next.
This is Triple M's Rush Hour. JB, Bill, Jonathan Brown is stuck around for Bill's joke. By the way, if you missed any part of the show, you can catch it on the LiSTNR app.
Sam Pang tomorrow.
My man.
Pangy.
Hang.
I can't get away from it.
Damian Oliver tomorrow, the champ.
Have you seen the new ad?
No.
For the Kia, there's 20 superstars in it. Unbelievable.
Really?
Ad.
I'm a Toyota man, Billy, and you're a Ford man, aren't you?
I'm a Mercedes man, so
Mazda.
we don't talk about Kia on the show. Now,
Hey, ask Pang about his nickname, the Orchid.
all right.
Okay.
Get him to explain the Orchid too.
That's a
How do you
good
spell
question for
orchid?
you. AWKWAR.
Not awkward, as in that was awkward. Orchid, as in the plant.
All right.
What's an orchid?
What's a plant?
Don't even. Now, I haven't heard any of the show, Rabs. Since I've been away.
I've heard the joke.
Actually, haven't heard a second.
Did you hear him do the siren at the Icon Park last week?
I did not.
He had access to the emergency siren and kept blowing it.
I was there when he was doing that. I'm going, he's playing this bloody siren.
He's an idiot, mate.
Billy next door to me.
You're next door.
And he comes straight out. He goes, "That was me playing the siren."
Seriously.
I owned it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I owned it.
So, while I haven't seen it, of course, Bearsy and Jasper and our amazing crew do the Instagram feed of the jokes. Yeah. So while I wasn't actually listening to them, all I could see was Limo's pained face every day. Because this is a man who is funny, listening to a man who isn't funny, trying to tell a joke. So how are we going to go today with Brownie as the audience?
Oh, we'll go well. Don't worry about that.
End the day with a laugh.
I have a joke.
This is Billy's joke.
It was a doctor-themed one Friday, Fruity Friday. Went well too.
Did it?
About the bloke went in to see the doctor, Jim.
Are you telling Friday's joke?
No, just for you.
Redo it.
And
Just in case you missed it.
He said, now, Phil, it's a normal procedure. Try not to get too aroused. Yeah. He said, no, my name's James. He said, yeah, I'm Phil.
No, he's actually told that one how many times?
Yeah. A few.
That's about the sixth.
So we're going down.
Run
See,
of that
Brownie
one.
liked it.
No.
So I went to see the doctor on the weekend. You couldn't believe it, Jim, for a checkup.
Yep.
And he said to me, you got to take your pants off. I said, oh, okay. Where would I put them? He said, over there next to mine.
Oh, God. How many times has that one been told?
How many times have we heard that, Billy?
Shut
up!
It's shameless.
No, it's not.
The repetition is shameless.
No, it's not. They haven't heard it.
No.
We've got a new audience.
Who
Brownie's
hasn't
heard
heard it?
Oh,
Everyone's heard that.
no, it's a new audience. Righto, Brad.
I didn't mind it. Brownie had a chuck.
Come on, Rabsy.
Well done.
Have you got a joke?
Come on, give
I'm out. No, I've got
Brownie,
nothing.
good luck with the Carlton Draft. Great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Kanya,
Thanks.
Brownie.
Good on you, boys.